Hey YouTube, long time no see. Let me put on some lip gloss. Hold on. I want to look right for y'all. Long time no see, YouTube. I'm not in the tent no more, as you can see. I had a lot of things happen in life, so that's why I haven't been posting. But I always use my life. I take my life and I take my life experiences and I intellectualize it and I make sense of it. I come to conclusions and I'll hop on camera. Okay, so it's really good that life's been happening because now I got content for you guys, right? So boom, right? As you can tell by the title of this video, we're going to be talking about 5 things or 5 reasons that prove God exists, or 5 reasons that God exists. Okay, so we're just going to get right into the video. First reason that prove God exists is science. Science literally proves God. As someone who studied science, this is what I've studied. This is so in the atom, right? They always say the atom is the beginning of every physical thing, of the physical realm, of the physical existence. The atom created everything in the physical realm, right? Okay, so I went, right? Okay, what created the atom? What's in the atom? Science told me there's 3 quarks that when they come together form an atom. Okay, what's inside the quark? It ends there. Like that's there. It doesn't go any further than that. The quarks, the 3 quarks, is the starting point. Science does not break down any further what's inside the quarks or what makes the quarks, right? So I came to my own conclusion and said that, okay, truth made is the material that the quarks are made out of is truth. And I came to that conclusion because, as you know, just in life, truth is always what real is more supreme. Like the truth always comes out. Lies can never withhold the truth. Someone could lie to you and you could still sense, oh, there's something they're not telling me. Or I feel like that's not the full story. Lies can never hide the truth. The truth always withstands lies, right? You could cover up the truth for many years, the truth will still come out. It's like, so just from life and my own life experiences, I came to that conclusion of, okay, I'm going to say the quarks are made up of truth, material truth, right? But truth isn't something that you could feel or touch. Truth is not material. So really, in hindsight, the quarks are spiritual. It's not physical. It's not something you can see with the 5, you can engage with in the 5 senses. So the quarks is beyond physicality. Okay, so something beyond physicality made physicality, because something beyond physicality made the atom, and the atom went on to make everything physical. Okay, and the only thing I know that's beyond physical is the soul. So God. But I'm not, when I was into science, I wasn't into God yet. I was just trying to figure out, like, if there is a God, then let me figure it out. Like, let me just see, right? So the conclusion, I was like, okay, the only thing I know that's beyond the physical is the soul, right? And the soul, as I said in my previous videos, the soul is just empty space. That's all it is. So then that would ultimately be the conclusion. Empty space went and created physicality. But then that's the conclusion I came to, right? Empty space went and created physicality, right? Something came out of nothing. That's the conclusion I came to, right? But then if you think, if you apply that conclusion to everyday life, it contradicts itself. See, when it comes to these kind of conversations, you have to relate it to your real life experiences, to ground it, to make it make sense. So it's backed up by truth, essentially, because it's backed up by something that you know for a fact, your own experience. You get what I'm saying? Or else it could just be easily written off as crazy. So when you go to take that conclusion, nothing, something came out of nothing. When you go and try to apply that to actual reality, what you see in everyday life and what you experience in everyday life, it contradicts itself, because you see in everyday life something coming out of something. You never see nothing come, you never see something coming out of nothing, because it's literally one of the laws of the universe. One of the laws of the universe is everything, what is it? Law of relativity. Law of relativity. Everything is like everything else. Everything is like everything else. So everything reflects each other. Everything is relative to each other. So everything is like something else. You see what I'm saying? So as above, so below. As below, so above. So if that was the case, we would see nothing. We would literally see things popping out of thin air in our everyday life. Like, that would be normal if that conclusion was true. We would literally see things in our everyday life pop out of thin air. You see what I'm saying? But we don't see that. We always see, when something is created, we always see that it came from something else. And if it's something new, like if there's like a new creature or a new fruit, then we see that it migrated and evolved from a previous fruit or animal. We see an evolution happening. We don't see things popping out of thin air. So that conclusion was wrong. So then that means that that quote unquote empty space is not empty space. It's something. Because physicality came from it. So that thing that scientists or people, or even me at some point before I realized that there was a God, was claiming just empty space, can't be empty space. It has to be an intelligence. Because whatever comes out of, we see in real life that things produce things that are just like it. And what did God do? God made man in his image. You don't see an apple seed producing oranges. No, you see an apple seed producing things that look just like it, taste just like it. You don't see a kangaroo making babies to a chicken, making chicken babies, getting pregnant, and no, you don't see you see a kangaroo making another kangaroo in its image. Literally, I look like my mom. I'm in my mom's image. My mom's light skinned and I'm dark skinned, but we literally look the same. She's a light skinned version of me. If you see her, if you see my mom, everyone says we look the same, and we do. I even see it. And I love that because my mom is so pretty. Anyways, but yeah. So that whole line of reasoning led me to that conclusion that, okay, there's a God. There's a God, a soul that creates other souls, an intelligence that creates other intelligence, a mind that creates other minds. It takes the original to create the copies, to create, well, I wouldn't say copy, because each and every single one of us is unique, has something unique about us. So we're not like a copy, but we're made in his image. You get what I'm saying? Because it takes something like it to produce things of its nature. You see what I'm saying? So that's the first thing. The second reason why there's a God is moral absolutes. Now, moral absolutes. There's so many people that sit here and argue and be like, there's not moral absolutes, because if you don't know what a moral absolute is, it's moral absolute is things that us as humans, we all collectively agree that is absolutely wrong. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So moral absolutes would be rape. Rape is absolutely wrong. Cheating is absolutely wrong. Murder is absolutely wrong. We wouldn't have these absolute morals if who made these absolute morals. Now, to prove that there is a such thing as absolute morals, because people are going to say, well, there's rapists though, but there's murderers though, and there's also a such thing as evil, and a man named Satan that's going around whispering in people's ears. Okay, so okay then, but look, So there's people that lost themselves because no one is born a murderer. No one is born a rapist. It's called falling into temptation and being a weak little bitch. I don't care. You fall into temptation, you're weak. And that's okay. It's called getting stronger. But you have to first admit that you're weak to get stronger. But anyway, my point is there's moral absolutes. And here's why there's moral absolutes. You could put a group of kids in a room and you could show them, you can introduce them to these horrific things for the first time, introduce them to murder, show them a video of someone being murdered, show them a video of someone being raped. To kids, I don't think we should ever do that, but to prove a point, I think we should do that because it's an essential point that people need to get. So if we were to do that and put kids in a room, I absolutely guarantee it. I absolutely promise you. I bet you. I will literally bet money on this that each and every single one of those kids will feel uncomfortable at what they're looking at. And if you ask them, do you think what you're seeing is right? They're obviously going to be like, no, of course not. Obviously not. Absolutely not. You see what I'm saying? They'll be like, they won't even have to sit here and be like, no. They're going to be like, no, that's wrong. They're not even going to have to think about it. They're going to be repulsed. Their whole body language, their face, everything is going to say it when they're watching the video. They won't even have to say it with their mouth. That what they're looking at is not right. So you can't say there's not moral absolute, because if there wasn't moral absolutes, then morality would be a taste. There would be some people that would be like, oh, you can murder people. There's nothing wrong with that. To each their own. And then there'll be other people who are saying like, oh yeah, you could rape. I wouldn't say murder, but I think rape is straight. Not that deep. To each their own. Like, it would literally be like that if there was no such thing as moral absolute. You see what I'm saying? When humans first appeared to each other, okay, meaning, when humans from distant lands met up with humans from other distant lands and they saw each other for the first time, they didn't sit down and go, okay, so do you think we shouldn't kill people? Do you think that's wrong? Or do you think no? Like, when society was being developed, there was just certain things, and you know why? Because they wouldn't want it done to them. I think that is like also another reason why too. It was kind of obvious, some of these moralities of like, don't steal, don't cheat. It's because like, well, I wouldn't want someone to cheat on me. I don't want people to come and steal my stuff that I harvested with my family. So we should make that a law. You know what I mean? Okay, I don't want this done to me. And everyone feels the same way. There's not other people saying, coming out the woodworks like, I wouldn't mind if people stole. You look at that person like you're a fucking alien. You don't mind being raped? Yeah. I mean, especially if it's out of my own, especially if it's against my free will. That's the best kind of rape. And they mean it genuinely. You can see it in their eyes that they genuinely mean it. You would be scared. You would be like, you look like me, but you're not me. You're not of me. You're not of me. Think deeply now. Essentially, you're saying, we all come from the same place. We all come from the same seed. Because we all feel this same way. You see what I'm saying? And if someone else were to come and generally not feel like this, we would be like, you're not of me. You're not human. Simple as that. You're something else. Literally, you're something else. So my question to you now is, what is that seed that we all come from? If it's not God. If it's not God. And the fact that we all come from a seed, we see in real life that seeds are the starting point to a big tree with many branches that makes many fruit. But the seed is the starting point. So there's a starting point. So there is one being that is all powerful, at which everything stemmed and was created from that one being. Okay, so there is a God. You see what I'm saying? Stay with me now. Grasp, you got to think. see what I'm saying? Reason number 3 that proves there's a God: the testimonies. The many, 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 many testimonies. Now, I always overlooked the testimonies until I got my own testimony. And if y'all want to know what it's going to be, I'm going to look forward to that video. I'm going to post a video literally titled like my testimony or whatever, of what really made me like finally submit, like, and accept, like, okay, there's a God. Like, there's a God. Like, I had, because, you know, sometimes like proving God intellectually isn't enough to get you to submit to him. It's just enough so you know, like, okay, there's a God, cool. But it's definitely not enough to get you to submit to God. It wasn't until I had my own testimony, I had something miraculous happen in my own life, where the only explanation I could give it was God did it. Like, that was the only explanation I could really give it. And that is what made me finally, like, led me to making this video today, of just finally submitting and accepting, like, okay, now there's a God, and I got to share it with my people that subscribe to me here on YouTube, because you know, like, when you're doing this and you're kind of in the space of like of intellectualizing everything and you're understanding everything, it could definitely get you into a space of feeling like, you know, you're your own God. And that's cool and all, until it becomes burdensome and you don't want to be God no more. You feel me? But so yeah, I'm gonna share my testimony with y'all. You could stay tuned for that video. But yeah, it wasn't until I had my own testimony that I started to look at the many other thousands of testimonies. That's really millions, because of you. There's been testimonies about God since Jesus Christ was born. You feel me? And I really think before Jesus Christ was born, the Jews was following the book of the law, and I'm sure they had testimonies. So I'm just I'm sure there's millions and millions of just from the thousands of years of testimonies, and not even just testimonies back then, but there's modern, you know, testimonies today, I should say, of people today. So like, these testimonies, they just keep going. They just keep coming. Like, there's just people keep coming up. There's just people that keep coming up out of the woodworks with testimonies. And I think you should take that into account if you're seriously trying to figure out if there's a God or not, because that's what even got me into truth seeking. I wanted to know if there's a God, because my dad is heavily religious, and I was in the space of, if there's a God, I'm ready to give my life to him. But I got so lost into truth seeking that I honestly forgot that was even my objective. But you know what? Truth seeking still led me to God anyways. So like, stay on your path. It doesn't matter what path you're on, it's going to lead you to God anyways. And it might not be this lifetime, but it's going to lead you to God anyways. You feel me? You just don't want to take too long though, because it does get to a point where it's too late. And that is due to your own degree of evil that you allowed into your soul to corrupt it. For example, Hitler, he allowed a great deal of evil to come into his soul and corrupt it to the point that he killed millions of people and feel no more remorse. That he's at a point of no return. So if you're really considering if there's a God or not, you should really consider all these testimonies. Because if there isn't a God, are you telling me there's thousands of millions of people from over time lying? They're all saying that all their stories are centered around one central point. There's a God, and here's my testimony. There's a God, here's my testimony. There's a God, and here's my testimony. Each testimony being wildly different from each other. Some testimonies even contradicting each other. But they all revolve around one essential point. There's a God. Here's my testimony. You feel me? So, just something that to consider. Like, you mean to tell me all these people are lying? Just something to consider. My fourth reason that proves God is science. Science, again, proves God. Why? Because everything in science is a theory. Everything in science is a theory. So this is when you have to put in the component or the attribute of believing. You have to include belief in everything and anything. In order to form a structure, you have to incorporate belief. To build your mind, you have to incorporate belief because you simply can't know. However, believing leads to knowing. And I could prove that. If you have a brother, actually, everyone has a mom. Everyone has a mom. How do you know that your mom is not going to kill you today? Oh, she lives millions of miles away. Okay, whoever is in your household, whether it's your roommate, your brother, boyfriend or girlfriend. Oh, I live alone. Your neighbor. Your damn neighbor. Okay? Whoever lives in your household or right next to you. How do you know they're not going to kill you? How do you know that? I live with my brother. How do I know my brother's not going to kill me? I don't know that. You don't know because it's very possible that he could walk in this room right now with a gun and shoot me. That's a effing mother effing possibility. But I believe he's not going to do that. I believe that to the point that I know he's not going to do that. My brother's not going to kill me today. I can't prove that. I have no way to prove it. And it's very much a possibility that he could do that. But I believe he's not. I believe it so deeply that I know he's not going to kill me today. Like, my brother's not going to motherfucking kill me today. Period. You see what I'm saying? Belief equals knowing. The deeper you believe something, because everything is a percentage level. It's a possibility. Anything is possible. It's literally in the Bible. Let me show you. Let me show you. Let me show y'all. Nothing is impossible. It's in the Bible. So you can see it right here. Nothing is impossible. This whole thing, you could read it. Like, I'm going to leave it right here so y'all can screenshot it and y'all can read it. Because it explains how having the nothing is possible attitude is possessing the spirit of Jesus. So y'all have seen it for yourselves. Nothing is impossible. So everything's a percentage level of possibility. So I believe the percentage level, I can't actually know, but I believe that the percentage level of my brother coming in here and killing me is like damn near 0%. So he's not going to do it. So because nothing is impossible and anything is possible, my brother could very much come in here and kill me. But my belief is so strong that he's not going to do that. My belief is so strong that he's not going to do that, to the point that I know he's not going to kill me today. And I know I'm going to wake up tomorrow. You see what I'm saying? There would literally be no such thing as optimism if there was concrete truths and concrete. No. Literally everything in science has the word theory after it. They'd be like, this theory. Something theory. The blah, 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 blah theory. Like, it always has theory as its last name. Why is that? Because even scientists know that, okay, we have some good proof and some good evidence to back it up, but at the end of the day, we don't actually know. Like, so they throw in theory, because even scientists know they don't fucking know shit. They could just come up with theories and just wonder in their mind about shit they have no business wondering about. Leave that to God and go live your godly life. So now, reason number 5 that proves God exists. Science, once again, proves God. Because scientists has admitted that the earth, the way it was created, was way too specific and way too on point, way too perfect. Had it just been a little bit, literally by 1 degree hotter, if the sun was 1 degree hotter, it would burn us alive. If it was 1 degree colder, we wouldn't be able to live on earth. Just by 1 degree. It's literally at the perfect temperature. Scientists themselves have admitted that's just way too specific for an intelligence, for it to be a mere coincidence. You see what I'm saying? For it to be a mere coincidence, it's way too perfect. And that's just one example of things, of something in nature that is so specific and so perfect that it couldn't possibly have been done by mere coincidence. And intelligence had to be behind it. So those are my 5 reasons of why God exists, of why there is a God, and why we all should bow down before him. Now, a 6th reason that's not really included into this, but I'm just going to say it because this is something that really convinced me. The Bible. Everything that I already knew was true just from being spiritual, like the end, about like the last days, astrology, the explanation of how the stars is able to dictate human affairs, all of this that I already knew. When I started reading the Bible, when I started reading this thing, it literally, not only did it confirm it true, but it explained to me why and how things became to be this way. Answers I longed for and was searching for and couldn't find anywhere else but here. So a lot of these Christians, I don't know, they're a little delusional. I don't know what they're on, because when I started reading the Bible, I'm like, this is a whole different book than what I thought the Bible was, based on the people that's already into Christianity. So don't follow people, follow your soul, follow your calling, follow your heart. That's it. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good day, have a good night, whatever time you're watching this. And yeah, I'll see you guys next video when I talk about my testimony. Bye.